Okay, Jason Kenney and Lisa Raitt won't admit whether or not they're running, but what about this other high-profile potential candidate?
I'm sorry I can't be more polite, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Reality TV star and financial investor Kevin O'Leary is weighing his options in the Conservative leadership race.
We need to create jobs. Jobs and jobs. That's the number one mandate. We have no growth economy right now. We have to fix that.
And Kevin O'Leary joins me now from Vancouver. So, Mr. O'Leary, you're rich, you're a reality star on Shark Tank, you're outspoken. A lot of people say you remind them of Donald Trump. Has Donald Trump's success south of the border inspired you to at least contemplate a run for the Conservative leadership?
Well, I've got this question so many times now as I've contemplated getting involved in politics. And there are some similarities. We both work for Mark Burnett. He's the most successful reality show producer on earth. Obviously, he brought The Apprentice forward and Shark Tank, and so we all know each other. I know his family, etc. But that's where the similarities, and in Canada, we have a different set of pressures at play than those going on in the U.S. And so, the similarities with Trump, maybe he's got better hair than I do, but I'm not building any walls around here. I'm very inclusive and liberal in my nature. And in addition to that, I'm half Irish, half Lebanese. If there was a wall, I wouldn't be here. Look at it that way.
So you're not in favor, for example, of ripping up NAFTA or banning Muslims from Canada like Mr. Trump is doing, saying he wants to do south of the border?
No, and none of that will happen either. I mean, what Trump's done to basically garner $2.2 billion worth of free advertising in the U.S. market was brilliant. He eviscerated his competitors, and now he'll move to the center, as every candidate does as they close in on the final race. And what happens in the end regarding Hillary or Bernie or Donald is an unknown. I guarantee you this, though, regarding the American election, it'll be the most entertaining in the history of that confederation.
So if you do decide to run for the Conservative leadership, you're going to make it entertaining because you're an entertaining guy. But let's talk about some policy issues. Where do you stand on the environment? Do you favor a carbon tax, cap and trade, or nothing at all?
Well, unique to all the other constituents here, I'm actually of the very first graduating cohort of environmental studies at the University of Waterloo in 1977. Under Greg Mikulacki, a very famous environmentalist. He was decades ahead of his time. He was worried about the environment then. I was the first of his graduates. So I'm very in tune with the concerns Canadians have around the environment. And so this party is going to get involved in the discussion around carbon taxation in a much more progressive and forward way. I can guarantee you that, whether I participate or not, because it's clearly something that millennial voters and a large constituency of the voters care a lot about.
Now, there has never been an outsider like you who won a leadership of a major political party in Canada. What makes you think, if you do it, what makes you think you can win this Conservative leadership and, more important, win the country?
I have an interesting dialogue going on with Canadians now. I reach 10.2 million people a week. 2 million of them are Canadians. A large growing constituency is 9 to 25-year-olds who enjoy watching entrepreneurialism on Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. I get 10,000 emails a month from them. I'm pretty in tune with what they're interested in. I take encouragement in what they want. I'm listening to what they're saying. There's a lot of frustration amongst entrepreneurs, small businessmen in Canada. I feel that they are in tune with my message, and I'm really being transparent with you when I tell you I'm interested in affecting economic and fiscal policy. That's my primary motivation. I think it's very broken. I think we waste a lot of money. I think our policies are inept and incompetent. Many people that are running politics around the financial decisions have never run a business. They've never made payroll. Certainly, we're seeing that happen in Ontario and in a very important province like Alberta, where it's at its knees now. Rachel Notley, I'm sorry, it's harsh to say this. She's completely incompetent in dealing with the energy sector. She has dried to there's no more capital from the world coming into Alberta. Her policies are so bankrupt.
But just because you're a successful businessman doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a successful politician in a diverse country like Canada.
The biggest business in Canada is Canada. The biggest business in Ontario is Ontario. The biggest business in Alberta is Alberta. What we need there, and what from all the benefits that we enjoy in Canada, stem from a strong economy, a growing economy, one that employs our young cohorts, our graduates. We don't have that right now. I'm going to fix that. And once I fix that, everything else will fall into place. It's that simple.
Okay, at what point do you get off the fence and actually throw your hat into the ring for the leadership? In fact, you can tell us right now if you want to do it.
You know, you're going to see those decisions being made by me and many others between October and January of next year, because this whole thing is happening a year too early. We've got a whole year to go. There's absolutely no advantage for me to do that now. I don't need that much time to set up my infrastructure. I already enjoy a wide dialogue and have a wide constituency. I'm enjoying great numbers in the polls, so I have multiple options. You know my interests, and I've been clear with you, are around economic and fiscal policy, so I want to affect that. Do I have to be Prime Minister to do that? Maybe not. Maybe I take a different role. Maybe I back some other constituent here that may emerge that I happen to like, help them become leader, and take an important role in helping craft the economic and fiscal policy. These are all options open to me. Why should I give any of them up now? And why should I stop being a vocal critic and trying to shine the light of transparency on the existing governments in both the federal and provincial levels that are doing a huge disservice to taxpayers? Above all, I'm a Canadian citizen and taxpayer, and I'm really pissed off.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your outspoken opinions.
Thank you. Take care.